In January of 2012, the internet was moving as usual. Memes, forums, endless chatter. But then, something strange appeared. Hidden in one of the darker corners of an image board, a message surfaced that would change the way people thought about puzzles, secrecy, and the limits of human intelligence. At first glance, it was nothing remarkable. A plain black background with white letters. No images, no decoration, no explanation. Yet the words struck like a spark in dry wood. Hello. We are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. This message is your invitation. And at the bottom, 2 chilling words, Cicada 3301. It looked like a riddle, but it wasn't just any riddle. The phrasing suggested an invitation, a challenge, maybe even a doorway into something larger. Within hours, forums across the internet lit up with speculation. Who were these people? Was it a joke, a hacker recruitment drive, or something more sinister? Nobody knew, but one detail stood out: a PGP encryption key hidden in the message. For most internet users, it meant nothing. But to those familiar with cryptography, it was a signal. This wasn't random. This was a test. If you didn't know what PGP was, you were already out. Those who followed the trail discovered that unlocking the message led to another puzzle, and then another. Each solution revealed another door. Each door led deeper into the labyrinth. At first, the clues were simple ciphers, but soon they became something else entirely. Ancient texts, obscure literary references, cryptographic methods known only to experts, a line in a poem by William Blake, a Viking saga, a secret hidden not in words, but in the digital noise of an image, an art called steganography. And just when solvers thought they had adapted, Cicada raised the stakes again. QR codes. When scanned, they didn't lead to ordinary websites. Instead, they dragged seekers into hidden pages on the dark web. This was no longer just a riddle. This was a trial of persistence. Could you master literature, technology, encryption, history, myth, and mathematics all at once? Most couldn't. But a few pressed forward. And then Cicada crossed a line nobody expected. The game left the internet. Across the globe, in Warsaw, Seoul, Sydney, Paris, Tokyo, posters began to appear. Simple sheets of paper, plastered to telephone poles and bus stops. Each one bore Cicada's emblem and a cryptic QR code. Suddenly, this wasn't digital anymore. Someone, somewhere, had physically placed these clues in multiple countries, sometimes within days of each other. Whoever Cicada was, they had resources, coordination, global reach. The puzzles grew more demanding. Prime number theory, hidden signals in audio files, coordinates buried in runes, even music theory. It was as if Cicada wanted only polymaths, the rare individuals whose knowledge stretched across science, history, art, and technology. And eventually, some of them reached the end. For these few, Cicada made direct contact. They received quiet emails, never shared publicly. According to the handful of people who later spoke out, Cicada asked them to work on private projects, to prove not just intelligence, but loyalty and discipline. And then, silence. The winners disappeared behind a curtain. The world never saw what came next. Cicada, as always, remained silent. 2 years later, in 2014, they returned. Not with posters, not with codes, but with a book, Liber Primus, Latin for first book. Its pages were filled with strange runic alphabets, dense encrypted text, and haunting philosophical messages. Some fragments were solved, revealing cryptic lines about freedom and self-knowledge. But the majority remains locked to this day. Entire communities of cryptographers, linguists, and puzzle solvers have spent years working together. Yet most of Liber Primus refuses to give up its secrets. For many, it has become more than just a book. It is the beating heart of the Cicada mystery, a silent challenge still waiting for an answer. Between 2012 and 2017, Cicada resurfaced several times. Each time, new puzzles. Each time, new seekers dove into the labyrinth. And then, just as suddenly as it began, it all stopped. After 2017, Cicada 3301 vanished. Theories exploded. Some believe it was a recruitment tool for intelligence agencies like the CIA or NSA. The puzzles demanded skills in code breaking, steganography, and persistence. Exactly the qualities agencies seek. But if that were true, why advertise it publicly on an image board, where anyone could stumble across it? Others think it was an elite hacker collective, fighting for digital freedom in an age of surveillance. The constant emphasis on encryption, anonymity, and privacy makes this theory compelling. And yet, no public movement or manifesto ever followed. If they wanted to rally people, why disappear in silence? Then there are darker theories, that Cicada was a cult. The cicada itself, an insect that waits years underground before emerging, seemed symbolic, almost ritualistic. If true, the puzzles may have been less about intellect and more about initiation, filtering candidates for loyalty as much as brilliance. And finally, the skeptics. To them, Cicada was nothing more than an elaborate art project, an alternate reality game meant to mystify and provoke thought. But if it was only a game, why contact the winners privately? Why demand silence? Why never claim credit? The truth is, nobody knows. And maybe that's why Cicada 3301 continues to fascinate us. More than a decade later, the book remains unread. The group remains hidden. The puzzle remains unsolved. Was Cicada a government recruitment drive, a hacker movement, a cult, or something stranger than we can imagine? Whatever the truth, Cicada captured the imagination of thousands and proved that even in the chaotic noise of the internet, a single mysterious voice can still capture the world's attention. Maybe Cicada achieved its goal. Maybe it's still out there. Or maybe it was only ever a spark, meant to remind us that mystery still exists, even in a world that feels explainable. And who knows? Maybe one night, as you scroll through your screen, you'll see the same words that started it all. Hello, this message is for you. If you enjoyed this journey into one of the internet's darkest mysteries, subscribe so you won't miss the next story. And before you leave, tell me in the comments, who do you think Cicada 3301 really was? Intelligence agencies, hackers, a cult, or something we haven't even imagined yet?